You'll watch. Viewers at home tune in. Like, we will have a heated hot topic segment, but as soon as we start panning out for commercial, Joy's cracking a joke. Sunny's showing me pictures of her dogs. Like, there's a friendship. Like,
and chickens.
Yeah, and chickens. we're all women that just kind of want to. I think we want to elevate the discourse.
Of Reese on the radio. Whack FM.
All right, ladies, buckle up. It's showtime.
Yeah. What's going on, all you scallywags out there? Holla, holla, and pop your goddamn collar. It's time for the world's most hated. Dare I say it, folks? It's time for the most racist online show in America. You know it and you love it. It's the Reese on the Radio Rundown with yours truly, Skippity Woo Wop. Reese on the Radio. Holla, holla, pop your collar, folks. It is my pleasure to be here with all of you. I'm going to make sure that the microphone doesn't pop like it did yesterday. What's going on? Jorge Torres! What's going on, man? That's right, the original crossover, baby. That's right, before EPMD made it popular. George, man, thank you for checking out the show, man. George is checking us out on LinkedIn, man. Stick around, man. The show's going to be amazing. Today, plenty of news and plenty of views to talk about. If you've never been here, George, I know you've been following me since way back in the days. Sean Beckman, thank you for being here as well. And I cannot start the show until I say, hello, Carl, who's my brother from another. He's practically my own child, damn it. I'm about to claim that boy on my taxes. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Great shirt. Did you ever go to CBGB's in the 80s? No. Mike, I've got a great story for you, and if I may, and I promised that I was going to put a picture up of this individual, but it's not necessary. You all know who it is. I have a great CBGB story, and it goes a little something like this. You may all remember that Ice-T started a heavy metal band. It's more like a death metal band called, I forget, why am I forgetting the name of it was? I know they had a song called Cop Killer. Somebody will tell me White Mike, of course, will probably tell me in the chat room what the name of the band was. But, yeah, George, I'll continue in a second, but I'm going to finish this story. And thank you for tuning in. Anyway, Body Count. That was the name of the group, Body Count. I remember now. Don't have to put it in there. Body Count. And they were performing at CBGB's. And I wanted to go see that concert. I wasn't into that music, but I needed to get in. And in the 90s, I was popularly known for crashing big events. I could get in by lying my way in through the front door. I never went into the back door. I always went into the front door. And this one day at CBGB's, I get there. And sure enough, hey, Mama D, Ice-T and Body Count were performing there. And MTV was covering the event. And I said to a friend of mine, I'm getting into that concert. He says, there's no way. It's CBGB's. I'm sure security's going to be tight. They won't let you in. And I said, never tell me the odds. The famous Han Solo line. And I walked up to the front door, and the bouncer was there. Big dude. I mean, he looked like 10 dudes. Compared to me at the time, because I was skinny and frail, I weighed about 105 pounds soaking wet. As I used to say, I weighed about $1.05. He was huge, and he was at the door. And he stood there and looked at me. He goes, your ticket, please. I said, yo, man, I ain't got a ticket, man. He said, well, you can't get in, move on. I said, dude, come on, man. You got to let me in there. He was like, no, I'm not letting you in. Can you see this line out here? Everybody wants to get in. You can't get in. I said, dude, you have no idea how important it is for me to get in there. He's like, what, you with the press? What's your deal? He's like, listen, man, MTV is here, right? And he said, yeah, they're covering the event. He said, I said, is Kurt Loder in there from MTV News? He's like, yo, who that dude that came in the short dude? The guy said, Kurt Loder. He's like, oh, yeah. He's in there. I said, dude, you got to let me in there. He was like, why? I said, yo, that dude is sleeping with my wife. I kid you not. The bodyguard said, yeah, go ahead in there. He said, yeah, go ahead in there. Go ahead, you got that. He's sleeping with your wife? Go ahead, man, go ahead in there. He was literally going to let me in there to beat Kurt Loder's ass. And so I got to see Body Count at CBGB's. The first and only time I'd ever been there. It was closed down many years later. Tell a man that this dude in there is cheating on your wife, and dude will empathize. He must have had a girl cheat on him because he didn't even blink. He said, nah, go ahead in there. So this shirt has always been pretty dear. This particular location has always been near and dear to me because I got in just off that line. So anyway, that's my CBGB story. Let me move on. I told that story and he was like, no way. Yes way. I made it. This, folks, remember yesterday? I don't know if you were paying very close attention, but yesterday I blew up a narrative that everyone was talking about yesterday, and I'm going to blow it up again today. And that nonsense that they told us yesterday was that the poor migrants who were flown to California out of Texas were a bunch of, kidnapping victims. Do you remember that? Kidnapping victims. Well, you notice Gavin Newsom and the Attorney General of California have been real hush-hush ever since then? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's because of this video that was just released today. You see that? That is the migrants signing consent forms. Now, you would think that was the worst of it, right? You know, they're signing consent forms. You can have them signing anything. There's no truth. There's no real, proof that these people signed those, right? Nothing. How about this one? How about the limo ride? Where they're listening to the music that they love, a little bit of reggaeton. Esta loca! They listen to all that, right? Look at them. They're walking down to the tarmac, smiles on their faces, getting over there to this Cessna, climbing on. Nobody's holding a gun to them. There they all climbing on there. Oh, they're in the plane.
Oh, ya llegamos a California, gracias a Dios, vale. Agradecido con Dios.
Oh, they're very thankful to God. Look at them. Waving, peace signing. Esta loca. Look at it. The woman's like, freedom.
¿En ningún momento ustedes se sintieron que estaban
No, estaban súper bien.
Sí.
At any point were you treated poorly? No, we were treated well. This is great. California is beautiful. Where's Tupac? No, he's not here? Okay. I listen to that song all the time. Look at him, posing, styling, profiling.
Okay, my English is very bad, especially with communication. Thank you for my room. My life in the street is very, very heavy, you know. For me, my travel, it's traumatic. Con Madres a Patrulla, paramilitares colombianos, carteles, y now it's okay. Thank you for my security. Bueno, no sé si me
Muy
entienden,
cierto,
bueno,
muy bien.
espero que me entiendan y estoy muy agradecido por mi habitación porque estar viajando en la calle expuesto a paramilitares y amar a Salvatrucha y todo lo que pueda haber en todo Centroamérica. Y llegar a un lugar seguro, conocer gente de frecuencia bonita como ustedes. Estamos muy agradecidos. Ella opina lo mismo. Y seguro ella. Sí, así es.
Look at this hostage video. Look at it. These poor people. These poor people in this hostage video. They got kidnapped, Newsom. Completely debunked. I just wanted to play that for you, folks. God bless you. Anyway, let me get back to my good friend over here, George Torres. He says, I am Urban Jabaro. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, so I apologize. I was the dude that beefed with the hater live on the radio about the Latino news. See, I remember, George, trust me. I remember who you are. You've always followed me, and we've been on LinkedIn together for a little while. So, Torres, I totally appreciate you, man, and thank you for always being a fine supporter. Beckman writes, for the people who are oppressed in their home countries, they sure do dress nice. I'm not going to lie. For a guy who couldn't speak English very well, he says, my life is very traumatic. He knew that English word. Why are they so clean and well-dressed? Haven't they been on the road for 2,000 miles of jungle and desert? That's right. That's right. I'm sorry. I watched that. Literally, I got that video just before we got on the air, and I was literally waiting for it to upload so I could get it on here. So I'm happy to finally bring that to you, which debunks that whole story that we heard nonsense. I think somebody's going to have to call the BS alert on my homeboy Jay King. I mean, poor bastard tried to tell us yesterday he knew somebody who was in this camp who said that they were kidnapped. Oh, God bless him. God bless him. It's a whole damn mess going on over there. But trust me, it ain't worse than New York, and we'll get into that later. Folks, I guess we can honestly say it's happening. Let's get used to it. It's going to happen. It is without a doubt now. Keone, you getting your $100. You said he was going to be indicted. I doubted you. You're 100% right. I said, let's not talk about it until he gets indicted. But so far, we have been confirmed that Donald J. Trump will indeed be indicted by next week. They have informed his lawyers. Just the News is reporting that his lawyers have been informed that Donald Trump will indeed be indicted. To find out more about that indictment, we'll go to Jeff, is it Probiesk? I forget how to Prosobiec, who's reporting on it, just reported on it today.
Folks, breaking news over the break. Here I am to describe it to you. This is out of the Post-Millennial, but everywhere has this. Biden's Department of Justice has informed President Trump that he will be indicted next week on, quote, charges of gathering, transmitting, or losing national defense documents. A federal indictment against Trump could be handed down by a federal grand jury next week. He has just been notified by federal prosecutors. Just the News originally reported this. The revelation comes as the Justice Department, so our friends with John Solomon and others originally got this, that the Justice Department has declined to delay charges to allow an investigation into allegations of witness tampering in connection, listen to this, in connection with a senior prosecutor working on the case attempting to influence a key witness by discussing federal judgeship with the lawyer representing the witness provided by Trump's legal team. So
now, do you hear that? They're saying that one of the prosecutors in this case has tried to influence a witness. So there's some dirty dealing going in, and the judge has refused to hear that case immediately. They're going to push the indictment first before they get an opportunity for Donald Trump to question this prosecutor that's supposed to be prosecuting Donald Trump for witness tampering. They want to get the indictment out of the way. They want that done, and then quietly we'll deal with the fact that there's been some underhanded dealings going on with the prosecutorial process here, right? Because that will never see the light of day. That story won't even be spoken about. The big news, the big fish is Donald Trump. And we're going to see the indictment. Now, whether or not it's going to be a felony is an interesting question, because according to this report, it's saying that he mishandled documents or he lost documents. I don't know how you suggest that someone lost something unless you know that he had it. Doesn't make any sense, but of course they're going to do that. Now, it doesn't matter whether or not Donald Trump is acquitted. It doesn't even matter whether or not he's found guilty in this case. Here's the objective. The objective is, as we all know, indictment, sullied the campaign, he loses, and then they'll deal with the case. And then, of course, if he wins and beats the pants off the federal the federal indictment and the feds in this case, they just move on, and at least they've done what it is they needed to do, and that is, of course, thwart his campaign. Beckman said, would this trial be in Florida or in D.C.? It is going to be filed in South Florida, according to Just the News and a couple of other locations. So it looks like that's where we are right now. So an indictment pretty much seems imminent. They're waiting for a grand jury to come back. Now, there was a report yesterday that said Mark Meadows, his former chief of staff, had, and I quote, had already given testimony to prosecutors or to the grand jury, and he had signed some deal for immunity to turn over evidence or information on Donald Trump. Well, that has now been completely debunked by Mark Meadows' attorneys, saying no deal was reached, nothing of the sort ever happened. So that, I don't know if that is a leak or if somebody's actually just trying to throw mud in the game. There's a possibility that the latter is the case here. Here's the rest of that story.
Look, folks, we've known this is coming for a long time. If you've been watching Human Events Daily, I say it at least once or twice a week. I've been saying it since the Mar-a-Lago raid took place. They were looking for those documents. They didn't care what was actually on the scene. They didn't care about these actual questions about obstruction. They didn't care about, are we really protecting the secrets of the country? Because remember, Mar-a-Lago is controlled by the Secret Service. So I don't even want to entertain any of these ideas for a second, but just keep in mind that all of Mar-a-Lago, the entire facility, is controlled by the Secret Service. The Secret Service, which are ordered to do what? Oh, that's right, protect national security.
That's right. That much is a fact. He should have hired private security ex-operators and refused to be arrested. Wow. What are they going to do? Have a Waco shootout? You know Donald Trump is showing up for this indictment, right? You know he is. That's just who he is. He's showing up for that. I doubt it's going to be the other way around. I doubt he would never, not show up for the indictment. He believes that helps him. We'll get into New York in a minute because I really want to talk about the craziness that's going on in New York. But I saw this story, and it was interesting. Look at this. This is a youth carnival. And with all of these conversations going on about LGBTQ trying to indoctrinate your children, this story and this little piece really freaked me out. So here it is the Indiana Youth Group is having a youth carnival. Apparently it happened today. And it says games, youth only, 12 to 20 with valid ID. And then, of course, it gives the address. Register now by scanning the code below. Food, vendors, and fun and entertainment. Now, the interesting part about this is that, again, this is clearly about LGBTQ. It's Indianapolis Pride. It's Indy Pride. But it's the bottom corner right here, this part right here, that really caused the alarm. Because they want young people to attend. But this is what they said when it came to parents bringing those kids to the carnival. You read that? Parents will be invited to participate in other activities off sight, or encouraged to explore the city. Parents need not apply or attend. That's what that is. This is a gay pride carnival telling parents, don't show up. Don't plan on staying. Leave your children and go have fun elsewhere. They put that on the flyer. That is not made up. That is on the flyer. Why would they do something like that? I have an idea. And I'm sorry that I have to play this, but I do.
As we celebrate Pride and the progress we've made over these past years, there's still work to be done. So to those of you out there who are still working against equal rights, we have a message for you. You think we're sinful? You fight against our rights. You say we all lead lives you can't respect. But you're just frightened. You think that we'll corrupt your kids if our agenda goes unchecked. Funny, just this once, you're correct. We'll convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it. You can keep them from disco, warn about San Francisco, make them wear pleated pants, we don't care. We'll convert your children. We'll make them tolerant and fair.
At first I didn't get why you'd be so scared of us turning your children into accepting, caring people, but I see now why you'd have a problem with that.
Just like you worried, they'll change their group of friends. You won't approve of where they go at night to protests. Oh, and you'll be disgusted so gross when they start finding things online that you've kept far from their sight, like information. Guess what? You'll still be alright. We'll convert your children, yes we will. Reaching one and all, there's really no escaping it. Cause even grandma likes RuPaul. And the world's getting kinder. Gen Z's gayer than Grindr. Learn to love, learn to vogue, face your fate. We'll convert your children. Someone's gotta teach them not to hate. We're coming for them. We're coming for your children.
They're not kidding. They're not kidding. I thought this was a parody. It isn't. Now, I know this came out last year. It was either last year or the year before. But I remember when this came out, and I ignored it because I was just like, oh, Gay Men's Choir did this. That's their agenda. It is. In fact, they say it in the song. The gay agenda is coming for your children. It's in the song. Now, if you bear with me, folks, I'm sorry to have to play the whole thing, but you have to. For context reasons, again, I thought that at some point someone was going to say that this was a joke. Okay, I thought someone was going to turn around and say, oh, they're just kidding. They don't. That's why I have to play the rest of this. And I know some people will be like, Reese, do you have to play the whole thing? Yes, I do. You have to listen to the whole thing. It's another, minute, 50 seconds, but you have to watch it. Again, this is the San Francisco Gay Men's Choir. Okay? This is a song that they made up. This is what they put in. This is not propaganda. They put this up. We're coming for your children. And what are the means for coming for your children? Because it'll make them kinder. It'll make them more accepting. I've said this for years. The objective is that they will turn around and say that making your kids more LGBTQ acceptable will make them kinder and gentler people to other minorities, especially those in the gay community. It is indoctrination. They know that it's indoctrination. And the Gay Men's Choir here of San Francisco is flat out telling you. Anybody who tells you otherwise must answer to this video.
We're coming for
Heard that? They will work to convert our sisters and brothers. Indoctrinate them. They say indoctrinate. It's the same thing they did with climate change. They told those kids to run home and recycle all of the cans and the plastic and all that stuff, and then hold your parents accountable, tell them that they need to do the same thing. And sure enough, parents thought it was cute. Oh, look how cute they are. Sure enough, parents started believing in nonsense too. And then that culture ended up being what? Ended up being the law. Turns out all of it was for nonsense, but that was the whole idea. Same thing with the electric cars. Oh, to be better for you. It was a cute idea. Next thing you know, it's mandated. That's what we're seeing here now. We already have it happening in corporate business, Vanguard and BlackRock notwithstanding. The objective now is ESG, mandated by law, state by state, city by city, that if you don't indoctrinate even your corporate business to the LGBTQ ideal, you can be fined, penalized. What the hell? What's next? Jailed? But they're singing in a song.
And soon we're almost certain your kids will start converting you.
That's right. Soon your kids will start converting you. Listen to that again.
Your kids will start converting you. The gay agenda is coming home. The gay agenda is here. But you don't have to worry. Because there's nothing wrong with standing by our side. Get on board in a hurry. Because the world always needs a bit more pride. No, you don't have to worry. Because there's nothing wrong with standing by our side. Get on board in a hurry. Because the world always needs a bit more pride. Come on, try a little pride. We'll convert your children. Then we'll turn to you. Giving up the fear inside is freeing like you never knew. Go and see San Francisco. Go and turn up that disco. You'll forget you were ever upset. We'll convert your children and make an ally of you yet. We'll make an ally of you yet. We'll make an ally of you yet.
All right. Any questions? There it is, plain and simple. Anybody who tells you otherwise, no one in the gay community, no one from the LGBTQ community has condemned this. If you want to make this even more clearer, let's go here. Let's go to this story. This is my favorite one today. 200 LGBTQ groups demand Target restock Pride merch. Release statement now. No such thing as neutrality, according to the story. Over 200 LGBT groups, angered by Target's decision to pull Pride merchandise from its shelves, are demanding the company denounce extremists and restock all the Pride merchandise in stores and online. The Human Rights Campaign, along with GLAAD, GLSEN, and other groups, released a statement asking Target and other businesses like Anheuser-Busch to reject and speak out against anti-LGBTQ plus extremism. Going into Pride Month, over 200 other progressive and LGBTQ organizations signed a statement which argued showing support for their community as it was good for business. The organizations laid out a three-part demand calling on Target to restock all Pride merchandise, both in stores and online, ensure the safety of Target employees, and release a statement reaffirming their commitment to the LGBTQ plus community within 24 hours. That is a demand letter, folks. If you want to talk about Gavin Newsom, somebody being held hostage, my friend, may I give you 200 LGBTQ communities writing a letter to Target and Anheuser-Busch. Now, again, the bottom line is that community will not buy Bud Light and that community will not shop at Target. It is evident that they do not. Both of those companies are losing market share like they've never seen before. Never seen before. And what is the LGBTQ community demanding of them? Support us or else. Quote, when it comes to advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion, there is no such thing as neutrality, end quote. That's what they wrote. The coalition suggested they would continue to support Target and other businesses who rejected criticism from customers. Where's that showing up in dollars? Nowhere. Nowhere. Target and all businesses can leverage the support of the LGBTQ plus organizations to navigate this hate so that together we can let extremists know unequivocally that just as with every other failed anti-LGBTQ plus campaign of the past, fear will not win, the statement concluded. Target displays LGBT, we don't care about all that stuff. But you remember the story and how we got here. But that is a demand letter. They would be upset if that was a Christian choir trying to bring religion, love, and Christ. Or embrace it. It's such a good point, Everett. And thank you for joining the show, Everett. It's such a great point. That's the idea. It's that you couldn't, and this is what I said months ago when I was on WTIC. You know, you really want to, if you really want to push back on this, religious groups right now need to show up at those schools. Just like Kirk Cameron did. It didn't get a lot of attention. Did you hear that? Kirk Cameron, famously of Growing Pains, devout Christian, Christian movie maker, wanted to bring Christian story time into schools. The only place that covered it was Fox News. But if there were large organizations going out there, large Christian, Catholic, if they were going out there, going into those things saying, hey, let's get baptism back in school. You know, we want to bring good stewardship of Christianity into the school. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you, Everett. Yeah, but that's what we should do. We should get a large group, a large archdiocese, and get them into those schools and demand answers. If the drag queens can walk in there and do story time for those children, we demand equal time. We demand it. And if they argue separation of church and state, take them to the Supreme Court of that state. Take them to the Supreme Court of the United States. You'll win every time because there's nothing in the Constitution that separates church and state, regardless of what you hear a bunch of morons repeat. Do they stop young Muslim kids from getting on their knees to pray on Friday? No, they don't. How about if the Christians and the Muslims come together and bring religion to the school? But hey, I couldn't agree with you more, Everett. And thank you for segueing our next segment. Because, folks, I got to ask you, there's a new war going on. There is a new war going on. And it is the Muslims and the Catholics versus the LGBTQ community. And guess what? The media is going to have to decide if this story blows up, and it's blowing up a little bit. Who do they side with? Who do they protect? Yeah, that's right. The Armenians are not effing around. That's right. Who do they side with? Because I was looking at the people in this video, and I noticed something. I want to see if you notice it too. I won't tell you what it is first. I want you to see it before I tell you what it is. But check out this video and tell me if you notice something very weird about the two groups that are arguing outside of this school in California.
Protect our children! 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 Protect our children!
Let's fear God! 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 Let's fear God!
Religious freedom now! 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 Religious freedom now!
Secular schools! Secular schools! Secular schools!
Secular school. 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 We need to freak out. 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 Protect our children. 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 Protect trans kids. Protect trans kids. Protect trans kids. Protect our children. Protect our children. Protect our children. Protect our children.
Folks, did you notice? Not the obvious. The obvious is you saw the Armenians, the Muslim groups talking about protecting their children, talking about religious freedom, that their religious freedom must be protected. That group was enormous. Forget about the fact that their group versus the LGBT group, which was scattered. Seemed like a lot of people there, but very scattered. Clearly did not come in with the numbers that the Armenian Muslims did. Clearly did not. The show of force was evident there. Armenian Muslims had the advantage. But here's the thing that I know is going to make this difficult. See, the media has to choose sides because there's somebody here who is oppressed. Someone here has to be the victim. And if I remember correctly, those are all white people. And the Armenians are the minority. There's an awful lot of white privilege in this group right here. Did you see it? A lot of the people in the crowd of the LGBTQ crowd were a lot of white women. Not a lot of white males, white women. And you saw a whole bunch of Muslim women wearing hijabs talking about their children. Whose side are they going to protect here? They have to make a decision. It's Islam-a-phobia or it's homophobia. Somebody has got to win in the oppression Olympics here, folks. Let's just be honest. Right? A lot of white privilege there. Look at all these white women there, except for the creepy guy. But look at all those white women there. Those women don't get a pass. They're one of the most maligned groups outside of cis white males. White women's tears, they get no love today. And now there's a bunch of white women telling some Muslim women that they have to adhere to what they want. Secular schools now. Ooh. A secular school in a Muslim neighborhood? Not a good look. Not a good look. Not when it comes to the woke Olympics, dear. Not when it comes to the woke Olympics. In this scenario, I'm going to have to say that the Armenians get the gold. LGBTQ whites, unfortunately, you get the bronze. Sorry. They made a mistake of flying the American flag. Therefore, they will be attacked. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. See, the understanding of Fox News has been the only place that's been reporting this. You're not going to get this. Well, you get it on the local news, but you will not get this on the national news. Because, again, if they say that these Armenians in some way are being homophobic, they've got to deny the religious freedom of the Muslims. And they don't have them as an ally anymore. That's it. It's over. You can't keep them as an ally. If you forsake them, they're done. Now, somebody tried to tweet that there were a bunch of MAGA people who were attacking LGBTQ communities, and Andy No said, come on, you know that's a lie. Why would you even post that? But guess what? They're trying to make that distinction. They're literally trying to refer to these people as some sort of MAGA Republicans, because if you demonize them that way, are you talking about really? These women? Look at it. I'll go back to that. Look at this group. Look at that group of white people. I'm sorry. That's not flying here. It's not going to fly here at all. So, sure enough. Okay, now, moving on into New York, folks. Look, don't get me wrong. I know that me being from New York, I say it often enough. I hate that city now. I did grow up there. I loved that place when I was a kid. I always have. I always will. My heart is in New York. I'm from Hollis, Queens, Run DMC, LL Cool J. My heart will always be with that town, but let's be honest. I wanted to burn down. That's right. The smoke in Connecticut's killing you. But I don't know. Is it as bad as it is in New York right now, Fritz? Is it as bad as it is in New York? Look at this story from Fox News today.
Back to, we were talking about Binghamton, New York earlier, and a meteorologist there is describing the city, what looks like Mars right now, and smells like cigars. The air quality is expected to worsen, and the governor of New York City, Kathy Hochul, is warning residents that the air quality is going to continue to worsen.
Wow.
She's calling it an emergency crisis, her words.
Looks like Mars and smells like cigars. Well, let me just say one thing, folks. That's better than smelling like urine. Finally, somebody got rid of the urine smell. Thank you, Canada. You have to thank them. Now, this was actually funny. Listen to the rest of this report, because I'm going to show a video of a place that always makes me laugh. Hold on.
She's warning that this is going to last several days, and, quote, people have to prepare for this over the long haul, Dr. Siegel.
Well, and that's a public health crisis right there, isn't it? And the way to do that, of course, which we've talked about before, is to plot out what trips you're taking. If you're going to the supermarket, make sure you stock up. Make sure you have the medications you have that you need. There may end up being long lines on the pharmacy. Again, I keep appealing to asthmatics and people with emphysema. Make sure you have your inhalers. Make sure you have extra supplies of food at home. And cancel your outdoor trips right now, especially with the idea that this is going to go on for days.
Yeah, this is the reason why we didn't have our lawn cut today, because I was looking at that and I was just going, no, there's no way. That's a lot of smoke coming in from a fire. But this was the video this is the portion of the video that I thought was crazy.
Doc, Sandra mentioned Binghamton, New York. 438 is the air quality index there.
Whoa.
That's the kind of thing where it literally could provoke an asthma attack just by being there for a few minutes. The other thing that I would talk about is automobiles here.
Now, I'm looking. All right, for those of you who are listening on the podcast, unfortunately you can't see this, but this is why I implore you to always watch the video. This video portion right here is in New Jersey. This is New Jersey. I saw that video and I just went, oh, what is that, stock footage? It looks like that all the time. I'm sorry. I hate to rag on New Jersey, but come on. That place is filthy. Technically, that look of New Jersey right there, all that smog, hey, Beckman, you know I'm telling the truth. That's technically an air quality. That's exactly. Beckman said it right on time. Newark's never looked so good. That's right. That's what's called an environmental improvement in New Jersey. Thank you, Canada. Normally, visibility 5 miles. Here, 10. Canada may have improved the air quality in New Jersey. I saw that. I was like, oh, man. But trust me, not to be outdone, folks. Not to be outdone. Let's tell the truth. I thought it was bad enough when Mayor Eric Adams said, and I quote, that he was going to give $125 a night to anyone who would take in an illegal into their home. Now, mind you, here's the part that I found funny. So in order for you to be eligible to receive $125 a night for housing an illegal, you had to be vetted, even though the illegal never got vetted. You were the one that was under some form of scrutiny. The illegal, not so much. You've got to go through more hoops to house the illegal than he had to getting to your home. Just to show you how stupid the folks in New York are. But no, not to be outdone. Just when you think they couldn't be dumber, they go one step further. And that, my folks, was with the help of crackhead vending machines.
You live around here?
Yes, I do.
What do you think about the new addition of this vending machine?
I think the addition of the vending machines is a purpose of good hope for the community.
Well, LL Fool J over there just said that having the crackhead vending machines was a sign of hope for the community. Probably a customer. Here's another woman who saw it for the first time.
I didn't know nothing about this. I just came outside to get some air. It makes no sense to me.
She came outside to get some air. This woman's batting 1,000. She just came outside to get some air that is now covered with soot and cigars from Canada. You were better off in your house, only to come outside and realize that the air quality sucks, but also you've got a crack vending machine outside your building. I would suggest changing your zip code.
I didn't know nothing about this. I just came outside to get some air. It makes no sense to me. So how can we get it removed?
That's a good question. I don't know if there's any hope of that happening anytime soon, but what do you think it's going to do to the neighborhood?
Mess it up as usual.
So you think it's a good idea?
Yes, it is.
Interesting. Okay, but what about the fact that, it's taxpayers' dollars that are potentially fueling an even bigger drug crisis in the city?
It's no matter. We need that machine in the neighborhood. That way we can have less people dying.
That's right. We can have less people dying. That's the reason why we need to have it here. Okay? Do you want to excuse me? Because I got to go get my paraphernalia.
It's like taxpayer money that we're giving resources now to drug addicts. You think this is going to hurt or help the neighborhood?
I think it's going to hurt the neighborhood. Yeah, honestly, I think it's going to hurt because it's supplying the stuff. So they'll feel more comfortable knowing that they have the fentanyl strips and stuff like that, more comfortable to use it.
Why is this here? I don't see the purpose of it to be on this residential block. No one on this block needs it.
No, nobody on the block needs it. Do any of these people realize that, and you got to really think about this, taxpayer dollars in New York City were used to benefit a constituency that doesn't even show up to vote. And those who have the potential to vote completely ignored. No consideration, didn't even ask their consent at all. Didn't even ask their consent. Just put them there anyway. To cater to a group of people who pay no taxes. If you need any understanding about the people that you vote for, here is a perfect example. God bless these morons. The corner store just lost thousands of dollars a year. That's right. Literally, does New York even have a visitor center anymore? Who in the hell would visit New York? I know exactly, and I have these friends who say, oh, we're going to New York, and they're going to Times Square, and I'm going, good luck to you. Promise me you will not ride the train. And they were like, but you got to ride the subway. I'm like, I don't think so. That's a done deal. I'm never going back there. Never. What's up, quarantine? I'm just never going back there. Ever. Those days are done. God bless those folks over there. God bless anyone who feels that they need to go to New York, but that place is getting dumber and dumber as the days go on. And the leadership quality since Bloomberg has gotten worse. That's right, F the subway. I mean, I thought it could get no worse than Bloomberg, but it did. Oh, so much, quarantine. I talked about everything from Donald Trump's indictment that's imminent next week. We talked about the air quality in New York. We talked about the immigrants that were flown to Sacramento and said that they were kidnapped, or according to Gavin Newsom, but we have video of them cheering and laughing and listening to their favorite reggaeton. Está loca! Anyway, last but not least, before we get out of here, folks, you know I always rag on The View, okay? And it's not, listen, it is not my fault. They literally make it easy. Everybody talks about The View. It is must-watch train wreck over at The View. But I'm going to make a prediction, and I think that this prediction is going to happen. Just bear with me. When? I don't know. But it looks like it is imminent that there is going to be a casting change at The View. It will make headlines. It will be huge. But I'm going to leave it to you in the chat room. Who do you think will be the person that goes? We might be wrong, but I'm telling you, after you notice this video, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. First, let's go back a couple of years when Alyssa Farrell, the so-called Republican on The View, had joined the program after guest hosting a couple of years. She did an interview with Good Morning America about her soon-to-be tenure on the talk show.
And it's so interesting because I know you said before that you could have gone to a place where others had views just like yourself, but you wanted to have that discussion with people with opposing views. And sometimes things get heated, especially during hot topics. But you say it doesn't last long.
It doesn't. That's the thing. And listen, by the way, I survived the Trump West Wing. I think I can survive The View. We will see. I'll be back to let you know. But no, the fun thing about the show is there's a genuine camaraderie among the hosts. And I've gotten to guest host more than 24 times now, so I've really gotten to know the women. And you'll watch. Viewers at home tune in. Like, we will have a heated hot topic segment, but as soon as we start panning out for commercial, Joy's cracking a joke, Sunny's showing me pictures of her dogs. Like, there's a friendship. Like,
and chickens.
Yeah, and chickens. we're all women that just kind of want to. I think we want to elevate the discourse.
That's right. And she was very hopeful. We're just women who want to elevate the discourse. And remember, after a heated hot topic, they'll go back to just joking and having a good time, showing pictures of their dogs and chickens, she said about Sunny hosting Houston Houston. And then this happened.
Let's talk about Pence first, okay? Because Pence said that his messages, different times, call for different leadership. Unfortunately for him, his type of leadership ended with Dwight D. Eisenhower. Okay? There is no place for Pence in the party right now. He would have been good about 60 years ago. Also, who is going to vote for him? You tell me. The MAGAs are not going to vote for him. The evangelicals are all in for Trump. So who's left to vote for him?
Well, I'll have more on Pence tomorrow because he's doing a big town hall tonight, and I want to hear more from him,
What
honestly.
do you think?
I kind of need to hear more of where he's angling. Like, based on that ad is so kind of generic. I think
you
he's
worked
angling
for him. You know him.
But I want to say this. There's a significance to Pence getting in the race solely from the fact that I believe it's the first time in history a vice president is running against the president they served after, and it just underscores how truly unfit for office Donald Trump is.
Wait, didn't I don't think.
Oh, I might have that wrong. We'll get right here for it. But I wanted to talk about what I actually think is more interesting. I think the Chris Christie factor is huge in this race.
Okay,
so he's on a one-man wrecking ball mission to take out Donald Trump. This man stands zero chance of getting the Republican nomination. His unfavorables are historically high. He is literally doing what my party should have done back in 2016 and said, I am going to say everything we know about him. I'm going to challenge him on the things a lot of candidates are afraid to say. And it might break through because him being in the race makes it a lot harder for candidates like a Tim Scott or a Nikki Haley to avoid talking about Trump's unfitness. They don't want to say the word Trump, but they're going to get asked about it because Chris Christie's going to be shouting it from the rooftops.
But
so
how
I'm
does he
here
get
for it.
past the MAGA base?
He is not. That's what I'm saying. He's not running to win. He's on a kamikaze mission to take out Donald Trump.
But I'm curious. What does he get out of that?
He's trying to save the party for the future. So
this is a strictly altruistic move.
I completely think so. I think he's paving the way for a GOP. He's paving the way to save the party he and I have believed in.
It's what you said.
Now, look, I don't know whether or not Alyssa Farrell is right in all this. She's right about Chris Christie. That is undeniable. But she couldn't really answer the question about Pence because even though she worked for him, she probably couldn't say that she would vote for him as president. And I think that's what she's intimating here. She really likes DeSantis, but she's never going to give up the goods. Shut these clucking heads up. I can follow it well. This is what I got to do all the time. So bear with me. So here is where it went south. And the reason why I'm playing this is, again, I want you to bring it back to what I said, what Alyssa Farah said earlier on Good Morning America.
And it's so interesting because I know you said before that you could have gone to, a place where others had views just like you.
Viewers at home tune in, like, we will have a heated hot topic segment, but as soon as we start panning out for commercial, Joy's cracking a joke, Sunny's showing me pictures of her dogs, like there's a friendship, like,
and chickens.
Yeah, and chickens.
Now, remember, she said that, okay? Watch closely.
Though about Governor Sununu, you said what I'm seeing is governors coming together and possibly doing what we said for years. We sat here and said, where are the people saying you're hijacking our party and making it a nationalist, populist party that's not even conservative?
Chris Christie. He's a spineless, soulless.
First time in 83 years.
That Chris Christie is not a factor here in my view. I think
Why do you think he's joining?
I think he's pugilistic. I think he wants power. I think he wants so much power that in 2017 he closed public beaches to all of New Jersey except for his family and his son, so he could have his son's birthday party on the beach. I think he thinks.
How does he get power by entering the race?
I think he thinks he's special. But what scares me, Alyssa, is that you are incapable of defending a man that you worked for, that you know
I am not.
of,
Oh, no,
and you're
no.
saying
Why
that
don't you ask me a question
saying
rather
that you
than...
need to hear.
I did ask you a question.
She did.
I had a point I wanted to
and you
make.
said that you needed to hear more from him. And I don't need to hear more from Pence for several reasons. Because when I lived
Well,
in
you just
Indiana...
accused me of something, so why don't you let me actually answer? You're not going to vote for a Republican ever.
No, I'm gonna finish what I'm gonna say. The thing about Pence here is that when I lived in Indiana and I went to Notre Dame, he had a terrible approval rating because of the way he treated the AIDS crisis. Awful. A lot of people died because of him. A lot of people died because of how he handled the COVID crisis.
You defended Cornel West yesterday, who would destroy our country.
He also was a parrot for Trump.
Don't make this personal. Let's hear.
He spearheaded the Trump.
Sonny likes to make it personal with me, so we'll just... Are you going to give me a chance to answer?
Speaking the truth. Spearheading Trump's COVID-19 agenda of downplaying the virus.
Well, this is not what the show is about. This is Barbara Walters' legacy.
It's everybody's view.
It's everybody's view. No, it's everybody's view.
And Pence did not quarantine. Pence did not quarantine himself.
You said, why would someone vote for him?
Are you just going to keep going, or am I going to get...
Yes, because I'm not finished.
You know what? I kind of feel like I need to go to break right now.
No, let me...
Maybe.
Well, because I can't hear anybody saying anything.
It's hard when you're being interrupted.
I know. So maybe we need to just figure out how we do this again. Let's have this break and let's figure out how we're going to make this work. We'll be right back.
So, who do you think? Who do you think? Alyssa Farah? Sunny Hostin, Houston? It's got to be one of the two. Now, I know you can't fire Sunny Hostin, Houston because, of course, she's the minority. But what are you going to do? You got to do something. Because if you watch Sunny Hostin, Houston here, she's completely dismissive, disrespectful. Whoopi is like, look at her. You even hear Joy Behar saying, look, let her talk. Let her get a word in. Okay, because I'm not done. Looking down, not looking at anyone. And if you notice at the end, there was no so-called showing people dog and chicken photos after the break or after the hot topic. No, it was heated. It's personal right now. And Sunny is dug in on her hatred of Republicans. Hatred. She's angry. She's bitter. I don't know what's going on in her personal life, but it sounds personal. Yeah, no more chickens for you. Meghan McCain and Elizabeth Hasselbeck could not be reached for comment. I'm telling you, right off the bat, something's going to happen. I don't know whether or not they're going to address it tomorrow. I don't even know whether or not they've addressed it. But this was fireworks. And when it gets like this, it gets bitter. Because, sorry to say it, and I know ladies are watching, please forgive me, but you know how this is a woman thing. The ladies do not. I do not like the anger and bitter people. Yes, I agree, Everett. I agree. You see, Sunny makes everything about her. Did you ever notice that? I lived in Indiana, and it, like, now you know AIDS patients who died. Like, Mike Pence is personally responsible for AIDS patients dying. Like Dr. Fauci holds it. There's no responsibility for that. Yeah, Janine Pirro will tell you. Yeah, exactly. Sunny host in Houston, Houston. That woman is angry. But I just wanted to play that for you because I thought that was an interesting clip. Right? Anyway, we got plenty of stuff coming up tomorrow. I don't even know which it is. I've got WTIC coming up soon. This month, I don't think I'm going to be doing anything about WTIC. Sunny was wrong. Yeah, of course he was wrong, Mama D. I don't have WTIC coming up this month. I might have it coming up this month. Oh, let me give a big shout out to Tom Shattuck, who gave me a shout out today. I want to thank him. A good dude he is. He's talking about the future of Reese on the radio and WTIC. Yeah, I wish I could get you out of Twitter jail, man. I wish I could. I heard that you're in Twitter jail. I saw you talking about it over in the Freedom Fighters page. Anyway, folks, I'd like to remind you, please go to FHFB.org. That is FHFB.org, or give them a call at 860-482-3338. That is 860-482-3338, or FHFB.org. As Fritz just reminded me, please, you can also give donations for cats and dog food. You can also give donations for specifically that if you are a pet lover, because they do give out pet food for those who are in need, as well as food bank stuff. And remember, it doesn't matter whether or not you give 50 cents or $1 or $1 million. The Friendly Hands Food Bank will make that money stretch real long. Karen Thomas is amazing at that. So please make sure that you give them a holler when you do. Also, as you can see, the T-shirt deal is happening. This was actually a personal gift from a friend, so they didn't want to shout out. They just wanted to get me a shirt after I told them the story about Ice Cube, and they went and got Ice-T. Sorry, they went and got me the shirt, so they didn't want to shout out. So if you want to give me a shirt, please do send it to me at Reese on the Radio. That is P.O. Box 25, Woodbridge, Virginia 22194. Again, Woodbridge, Virginia 22194, P.O. Box 25. Give me an extra large shirt because I can't fit in anything else, and also because
you are a disgusting fat body, Private Pile.
That is why. All right, so send it there. You can also go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com to see the actual ad that I cut for sending me a T-shirt. Another great T-shirt coming tomorrow from Apple. I'll be wearing the T-shirt that she sent me as well. And I think that is in essence about it. So let's get out of here. All right, folks, as I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Courtney, don't forget, we're taping the show tomorrow for Sunday. Don't forget Reese on the Radio, Sunday, 1 p.m. at WTIC.com. I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow, because we hope to see you back here tomorrow, too. Holla, holla, pop your collar. Be good to each other.